Welcome, everybody. Welcome to 10-4, special 10-4 powered by Winning on Wednesday. We meet here once a month. And every the second Wednesday of every month that we come here and showcase with our members to do a 10-minute presentation. And today I have the pleasure to introducing Lisa Strahs-Lorenc and Rich Beyer, who will be doing the presentation today. So I'm really excited. So guys, I'm going to hand it over to you guys and take it away.
Well, welcome.
Jumping right in. I love it.
We are. We're going to jump right in. This is a great topic, and it was such a pleasure working with Rich. We've been together now for a while. That's the first time that we've done something together like this. And so we're very excited to present something that is really relevant to everybody, whether you own a business or whether you work for somebody else. You got to stand out, and we're going to explore that. We're going to explore your brands. So, Rich, who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Rich Beyer. I have been working in the web space for the last 25 years. When I say that, I don't mean this to sound vague. I started off as a web designer. This was a change of career for me. I invested a lot of money in computers, software, hardware, time, courses, etc. And the whole idea was to get a job. 6 weeks after I got started, the dot-com bubble burst, and there were no jobs. So all of a sudden, here I was in business for myself in an industry I knew nothing about. So I learned. I learned every kind of design, print design, graphic design, package design, you name it. And I kind of started feeling like a jack of all trades. At one point, I realized that everything was under the heading of branding. And so this is what I've been doing. I've been working with small businesses um, in the New York area and across the globe. Truthfully, the internet has made that possible, and helping companies and clients to hit the streets, as I refer to as the three Ps, and that is a polished professional presence.
Great. And I'm Lisa Strahs-Lorenc with that hyphenated name. I am a career counselor because I got no career counseling and I vowed that nobody else should be in the same position as me. My marketing is really about trying to make sure that whoever gets out there is remembered, walking into an interview or trying to figure out how you're different from somebody else and why they should hire you. That's really important to me to help others. So I try to do that with whoever I work with, people of all stages and ages of life. And they have many careers. So I try to help them find that career happiness and distinguish themselves from others. So we're excited about bringing this to you. This is going to be fun, interactive. And we want people to ask questions, answer questions, and just enjoy the content because we enjoy doing it. So here we are.
Yeah, and to that point, I'm just going to reinforce.
Go ahead. Yep.
Just put up your hand if you have a question. We want this is not going to have we're not going to have an end Q&A specifically.
Yep.
So
Yep.
let it rip.
Yep. So we chose this title because we all know these brands. We do not ask for bandages anymore. We ask for Band-Aids. We don't ask for tissues anymore. We ask for Kleenex. They did a pretty good job of getting their brand out. So let's talk about what that means. And by the way, we've interspersed some fun comics in between. And so you'll see some fun things going on here. So here
Don't
we go.
spoil it.
Okay, sorry. Okay, it'd be nice if it went. There it goes. Okay. So
You come up with this great idea. This is what I'm going to do in the world. Now what?
yeah, now what? So we like that. We thought that was a great way to start. Okay, so we all recognize these brands. They're everywhere, right?
What's yours?
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the McDonald's M or the Nike swoosh, I go back to the Nike swoosh a lot. You look at that Nike swoosh in the lower right corner, and I don't know about you, but for me, a lot of adjectives come to mind. You know, um, if you love Coca-Cola or if you hate Coca-Cola, the same thing might hold true. Maybe you had a great experience with a Volkswagen, or something that makes you. But all these logos, it all evokes a lot of information for most people.
The fact that that brand already means something, they've done a really damn good job of making sure that you knew exactly who they were and what you associate with it, which is what Rich was saying. So we asked you about your brand, and here we go. Now, a logo. What's in a logo?
A logo does not a brand make. A lot of people get confused. When we talk about branding, immediately people think the logo. Oh, I gotta have the logo. It's the logo. It's all about the logo. Well, you know what? And not so much. Here's the
Spent
thing.
too
I
much
said
time
this
on
to you.
that logo.
Lisa and I were talking about this. I said, Lisa, the truth is really nobody gives a beep about your logo. What they will give a beep about is that if you don't have one, or if you have different variations of a logo all over the place, nothing's consistent. That's what will stand out. So don't worry about boo, my logo and all that kind of thing. Just make sure everything is consistent. Just make sure it all is across the board.
Yeah, people spend a lot of time and money, by the way, on this. Big investment. So,
Yes, they do.
so what's a brand? Now it's your turn, guys. What's a brand to you?
How do you define
Yeah,
branding,
what's it
or
to
a
you?
brand rather? How do you
Yeah,
define a brand?
yeah. What do you think, guys?
Crickets.
Well, according to
I
Jeff
That's right.
Bezos, a brand is what people talk about you when you're not in the room.
I
Mm,
always love that. I've heard that before, and I love that.
Mhm.
yeah, me
You
too.
know,
Yeah.
and when I hear that, my point of to that is, so who's driving that narrative? Are you driving that narrative, or are you just letting people, you know,
Yeah. So is that a reputation? That's how you're known? Yeah. Yeah.
and consistency, you know.
mhm,
Yes, you will always be branded, whether you are in charge of the branding or you're not, other people will.
love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Meryl.
Yeah.
Oh, for better or worse, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That's
this is
right.
this and this goes back to what I said before. Who's controlling the narrative?
Hmm.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so if you're looking to have everything, if you're looking to have a position in the marketplace, when people think about you, that doesn't happen by accident,
Yep.
unless it does. So,
Excellent.
sh
Yeah.
shall we?
So let's see what that is. So truly, it is
So,
intelligent. Okay.
so I've been very fond of talking about the it's the 1,000 touch points that your company has with the world. So it's not just your logo. Of course, your logo is a big part of your brand, but it's just a piece. Your website, how easy is it to navigate? Um, are you putting all your things in capital letters so that it just looks like a big wall of letters, and people that have different reading styles might have difficulty with? Are you using a font choice that represents your business or your industry? Lisa, jump in
And that's
anytime.
well,
I'm
that's
just
just the design part. Now remember, Rich is the design professional. Okay. I look at the standout and how somebody's really known. So for me, that brand is okay. So what is that reputation of that person? What are they known for? For instance, it's always okay. So what's the difference between a career counselor and a career coach? And I emphasize counseling as opposed to coaching, which are two very different things. So the brand is how you want to be known and what people think about you.
Hmm.
Okay. And so that's with my clients too. So how do they think about, 10 social workers in a row? What makes you that special social worker as opposed to the other social worker? So may have the same degree, may have the same background. However, they're different people. And that's your brand if you've done a good job. So, okay. Um, okay. This would be nice if it would. There it goes. Okay. So is that what we want?
yay.
We want to
People.
be
So
everything to
what
everybody.
happens is people they start out, and you get so excited that you don't even know who your market is. You just know that you have a product, you know? So, yes, I can do that. Yes, it's for you. Yes, it's for you. You know
Yeah,
what? If
yeah,
you're going for everybody, the the opposite side of the everybody coin is nobody.
that's right. That's right.
So so let's talk about, when you drill down, and you start to get very niched in your market.
you position yourself, basically.
So I
What
know
And
for
I help everybody.
so for example, I know that Meryl has a very specific niche, and it's very clear. So she's not looking for people to take their podcast and go, millionaire. You know, she's looking for people that have, either don't have one, and getting them out there so that they have a something that they have, and there's something they can chop up into lots of different marketing pieces. Okay. So once you know exactly who your market is, then you're not just, casting a wide net. You're pretty much writing love letters to your target market, to
Yeah.
that niche, that specific area.
And let me just add that that is also based on need. Who needs you?
Mhm.
Okay. What need are you filling? That's important. So,
There's a uh, pain point. Every business should be looking at, what's the next thing I could do that help the client? What's the next thing I can do to be more valuable to my client?
right,
What pain points can I help alleviate?
right. I
And
always
the
say, what problem am I solving?
Yeah, solution. Yep. What
Mhm.
solution are you?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Remember, this is not about you. It's not about me. It's
Right.
not about us.
That's
It's
right.
about the client.
That's right. That's right.
And when the client gets that your brand includes client focus,
Yeah.
then you become valuable.
Yeah. And that's true, by the way, in interviewing. People think that they're the person that they are the most important person. They are not. It's how are they of value to the company that they're interviewing with. They have to keep remembering that. So, and that's the way they'll be hired when they show that. Okay. Here's another one, a good one.
I look at this
Every
as,
idea is a good idea.
just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay. So, yes, it's groundbreaking, but does it really speak to my, does it really, you know, shall we move on? Shall we go to the next?
Oh, this is a good one too.
So, get out of your own sphere
Yeah.
and get some feedback from other people, because just because you come up with the idea doesn't
Right.
necessarily
Yep.
mean that it's a good one. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And onward we go.
And onward we go. All right, let's talk about standing out. Okay. So I just want you to think about that and this question. So who are the people who stand out? What are they all about? We'll
Like,
throw it out to all of you.
yeah, what, who are some standout people in what they do that you can think of right off?
Their energy and the vibe, they're happy, and or that you could always see that they're always that type of person, and
Or the opposite, maybe they're a bitch on wheels. Ooh, you'll edit
or
that out. Yeah.
right, or they could be yeah, like a sugar now. But anyway, I mean, there's different quality because we label people the way they are because we see them at a network event and we say, oh, this is just person I might want to do business in the future. Oh, this is not a serious person. So you kind of like after a while you get to that you put a label, your own personal label with these people. I guess in your mind,
You brand them.
you brand them, correct?
Uh-huh. How do they show their reputation? I mean, what do they do? How do they sound?
Mhm.
Uh,
So,
no callbacks, or do they follow through?
Mm,
Callback, execution. I mean, that is value, and if you're not showing that, then you're not standing out.
I go by sincerity too. There are a lot of
Yes,
insincere
genu
people.
genuine,
Genuine.
genuine and sincerity. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
the word authenticity,
Mm.
I believe, is bandied
How do you
about.
pronounce that?
Uh,
I'm just kidding.
Ow,
Ow, ow.
Yeah.
authenticity. I think
Okay.
authenticity is a is it's almost become a little trite. Everyone's striving for it.
I
You just be
I thought
authentic.
I thought it was a rare species.
They make the cream
Authentic.
for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So here we go. Look at these
Mhm.
cows.
so things change. The more things change, the more they the more the barcodes appear, I guess. So,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
and next,
Yeah, technology and all. So here's what it comes down to. It's what's your real personal brand story or what's your business story? People should be telling this story. It makes them unique. It makes people identify with you so that you really understand who they are. And yet they don't. I tell people all the time, tell your story.
Mhm.
That's what's interesting about you. That's what makes you who you are.
Yeah,
one of the
that's
reasons
what a
that,
brand is. A brand is differentiator.
That's right.
when you talk about brand, originally, the word brand, I believe, comes from Old Norse, from the word brander, Brandr. And that basically meant taking something very hot and searing it into the flesh of something else. And this way, I know that that animal is mine because it has my mark on it or my brand. Um, Now, one of the things about Lisa, for example, is that she does grief counseling.
I
Now,
do.
that's all well and good, but once Lisa started sharing about her background and her relationship with grief in her life, all of a sudden, her personal story and her business story, I was able to see that
Now,
overlap.
another thing a lot of people have done in the past and will continue to do is that they take a
Oh my
hobby.
God, it's God.
She
She really is a female.
That was
That was awesome. Divine intervention.
yeah.
Whoa. Okay. We're talking about Lisa and we channeled God. Did that blow
was
your mind like
that
it
was
did
great.
mine?
That was great.
So,
I love that.
so,
Yeah.
but again, this is where I started to really understand Lisa's story because I understood where her business came from. It came from her personal story, and now the overlap. And she's not someone who just talks the talk. She has lived the life.
I have. I have.
So, what's yours? Where what's your sweet spot? Where does your personal story and where's your business story? Where do they overlap so that magic happens?
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good. Okay.
So, building a brand is not a it's not a sprint. It is a marathon, you
And
know.
everybody's flocking to all those, okay, direct mail or cold calling, or not going
By
to happen that way. It's not going to certainly build your reputation, your brand.
Yep.
Yeah, not at all. So folks, don't worry, don't look for the magic button or the easy button on this one.
Yeah.
No.
It takes a while. It takes being consistent. It takes being consistently good. It takes being consistently honest. It takes
Yeah.
being consistently integrity bound.
Yeah. And I'm
You
going to
know,
make one analogy is that in the olden days, they used to teach us to send resumes to 200 leads, right? And if you got what, 20 back, you were like lucky, right? Isn't that what colleges used to say?
mm,
And I don't let my clients do that. And I tell them it's all about building your brand and getting to know people and connections and all. And people still do that, by the way. They send out their resumes hoping that somebody will find them or discover them. And that's not the way it's going to happen. Okay. So that's important. All right. So standing out. So these questions, we really want you to think this through and decide sort of how you're standing out in your own industry. We'd love you to tell us.
remember, this
Well,
is the interactive part, folks.
oh,
How
but
do you tell your story?
Jump in, everybody.
anybody else?
Mhm.
I mean, I'll tell my story because my story. It's interesting because I'm pivoting, and I'm very interesting because now I have to retell my story.
One's transitioning, by the way.
Yes,
Yes.
I am pivoting, and so I have to, explain what, so that's part of my story, the explanation part, and eventually, over time, I won't have to do that because, with the branding, people will see me as the safety guy,
Right. Right.
Hey, Rich,
not the not the web guy.
Not the way.
you want to clarify with Juan, he said he's transitioning. He's
Yes.
not turning to Juanita.
Oh my God.
That much I don't know.
I'm changing my suits. I'm going from Clark Kent to Superman. There you go.
Yeah.
Clark Kent to Wonder Woman.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Okay.
God, a clash of cultures going on here.
Anybody next? Anybody want to get roasted next? Let's
Sure,
let's
I
answer the
will,
question.
but remember I fire back.
Yeah.
So
Go
I
ahead.
wanted to talk about the being an expert in the industry.
Yeah.
I've been in the insurance industry for 40 years, and that separates me from an awful lot of people who do marketing in that industry. Most of them are young and doing whatever the boss tells them to say, and I'm actually showing them an easier way. And by the way, I thank you because you guys just gave me a better, I'll call it, it's not really a pitch, but the easiest way to present a Roth conversion that works. And when you said, okay, how do I make this different? Quite frankly, there's a lot of people out there toting the Roth conversion part, but they're not showing an easy way to do it because an insurance company gives you a 19-page proposal. Mine's one sheet. And they go,
Wow.
wait a minute, what? That's how it works? Yeah, that's how it works. So I appreciate that. What you guys gave me the idea to do that. Thank you.
Yes,
Good.
yes, yes.
Good. Great.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
Is-
Are you doing anything different, anybody, to get known on a regular basis? And then
I'm
it works.
wearing the gear.
Yeah.
Yes, you wear the gear and have other people wear the gear too in pictures.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I'm doing this year is going back old school. I'm doing presentations as opposed to just webinars and online things. I'm actually speaking in front of people.
Good for you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Wow.
Good. Yeah, I'm doing workshops.
You
I
know,
love doing
listen,
workshops.
this kind of interaction is terrific, but honestly, in my book, there's nothing that beats being in person, being in
Yes.
front of a room, and
Okay.
because being in front of a room, there's an exchange of energy between yourself and the audience.
Yeah.
And when you're on a roll, and you are because it's just this great flow,
Yeah.
this great flow of energy. Good for you.
And you get instant feedback. So
Mhm.
as you're going along, if you see people checking their phone and looking out the window, it's just like, okay, I must be really boring. Let's change things up. When you're talking to the camera and going, I hope people are paying attention, and you see people nodding along, not realizing if they're reading Facebook or whatnot,
Oh, listen,
Right.
music.
it's
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's the disadvantage of this medium. Right?
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You look like
Um,
the dog in the back of the 57 Chevy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We want to talk about ways that you can tell your story. So there are actually bios that are one pagers, which we're going to show you. And then, of course, there's all the sound bites.
Talk to Meryl.
Yeah, Meryl. And videos
Yep.
and pictures. So in the video area, I have a channel. I have my bereavement channel. And I don't do podcasts, but the channel is good.
yet.
Yeah.
I know. I know. I haven't dipped my finger in it yet, Meryl. Thinking about it. Yeah.
We'll be here when you're ready.
And
Yeah, thank you. I know. I know.
to this whole point, it's that people say, but I hate my marketing myself. But you know what? If you don't do it, ain't no one else is going to do it for you.
Yeah.
So you got to blow your own horn until someone else blows it. That's
Yeah.
the bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing. It's funny when I deal with people and even do a resume. Well, I don't like talking about myself. Okay. How are we going to do a resume? You don't want to talk about yourself.
Yes, hire this person. She's nothing special.
Yeah. Yeah. So is anybody else doing anything like any of this? In some way, telling the story in one of these ways, besides Meryl and their podcast?
I would have to guess that I'm a little bit of all of those things
Good.
and building it.
Excellent. Excellent.
Eggs, baskets, absolutely.
Pigs,
Mhm.
And
So-
then also humor.
hmm
I try to add humor in everything that I'm doing. It's difficult when I'm dealing with Roth conversions, though. I actually have not figured out how to do that. Rich
Yeah.
can help me anytime he likes. Just jump in.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, let's you and I do a one-on-one about that, and let's figure out how to make it funny between you and I. Because see, the part of the problem is for you is that you're so in it and you've been so in it for 40 years. I know nothing about it. So I'll be able to look at it with fresh eyes. We'll talk about this offline.
Done.
So
Cool.
I just got a comment to make here. I think it's really important that people do a lot of this stuff only because we're in an era right now that unfortunately, with especially with AI, there's a lot of scams going on and a lot of scammers, and people need to vet and verify people who they are because. And this is something that they can help them, and it could be also a selling point. In the you have to bring in value because again, too many scammers, too many fraudsters out there. You got to check and verify. I mean, you'd be surprised. A lot of people taking advantage, even in like private finances. I just found out like predatory lending. I just heard of something called
Wow.
predatory lending, where they'll lend you money and then they'll switch the terms on you. So you got to be careful and
That does
verify who you
not
do that.
exist. Does not.
Does that exist?
Da, 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 da,
And
da.
so
I'm shocked. I'm appalled.
your fault. You object, Your Honor. You object, Your Honor. But anyway, you gotta just, but I think it brings value, but your branding and marketing, telling your story. But by doing all this, it brings more proof and evidence in a court of public opinion.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
How'd
So
I do, Elliot?
I found this, and this is pretty cool. You can actually do a one pager, and I love the sections, all right, because how many of us really think about this, right? What your true mission is, a little bit of bio, because that's your story, and then like a little summary, and your attributes really now separate you. Like, what are the most important things about you that you'd want people to know? And then, so who's your audience? This is where,
I'm good
you really.
shoplifting.
And then what do they need? So this really summarizes, and a picture's nice also, but this really summarizes who you are. And a pager like this would be a great thing to hand out or to have online and all. I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, these are also relatively easy to make on Canva.
Mhm.
I've used networking one sheet and just go into Canva under the resumes templates and turn it into a
It
networking one sheet. This is who
and
I am. This is what I do.
Yeah, great. And Canva's free, by the way.
Mhm.
Don't go into their premium. It's free. So yeah, it's great. Good. So time for a comic.
Moving into social media
Yeah.
and how to the uses of it and sometimes the not so good uses of it. Listen, not everything is for everybody, as I've said before. So
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about social media. So all of you just take your phones for a second. Hopefully you've all done this exercise. I love this exercise, especially with my clients. Google yourself and tell us what comes up first. Everybody do this. Google your name.
LinkedIn.
Facebook.
LinkedIn.
Facebook.
Oh, Facebook, huh? Okay. Anybody else?
Are we looking up a personal
No,
name?
No,
yourself.
the first number
Just
one.
type
Number
in your
one.
name into
Yourself.
Google.
Type in your name.
What's the first page that comes up?
Yep. What comes up immediately?
What's the first page?
Yep. The first page on you.
I feel pretty good. Mine comes up jeffcothey.com.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
wow, your website. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, and Rich, the website comes up second. Go you.
Yeah. Yeah, my website comes up second.
Wow.
My LinkedIn.
Yeah, my LinkedIn too, and
Yeah,
then
LinkedIn.
my book. My book comes up next.
I
Now,
get
you know why?
LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah. Now you know why all those networks, because they have high traffic and a lot of members and a lot of pages, so they have a lot of authority on Google. So
And Microsoft owns LinkedIn, so that tends to give it a little more oomph.
So
yes. So
my
here's the
website
deal.
my website comes up first, and then LinkedIn, and then my photography site.
So I'm a big LinkedIn person, and LinkedIn is the largest network in the professional network.
Yep.
I know a lot of people have a LinkedIn account, but don't use it. Okay. It's there, but they're not consistently doing anything with it. So if you set up the profile and you really start working consistently in it, you can get so many opportunities, not only your business, but also, networking opportunities. It's really an amazing network.
Lisa, can you help me understand what you mean by working in it?
Sure. So you might have a profile, okay, but you're not sharing stories. You're not posting articles. You're not making connections and then following up on the connections. I'll just tell you a quickie one that Juan and I were talking about one day, and that was birthdays. So I'm connected to 4,000 people. And that's a lot of birthdays and a lot of working anniversaries. And I always wish people birthday. That's a really easy thing. But I also say to them, I hope your business is going well. Is there anything we could do? It's been a long time or something.
It's
And that's a great introduction. It's such a simple way of just
yes.
connecting.
It's not like you're not trying to sell anything. You're appreciating their birthday or taking a time acknowledging them, something special about them, so it opens the door for them to be more receptive.
And this just happened yesterday with me. Somebody just said, thanks so much for thinking of me, wishing me. I'd like to connect with you. I think there's some work we can do together, just out of the blue.
And another thing also, try to be engageful also on if you see on LinkedIn somebody's anniversary or a career change or they got a new job, wish them, go out and physically, type it in, congratulations, because other people will see that. And most likely people will add you as a friend because you know him. How do you, people see that. People see engagement. So commenting is good because people actually see you.
I want to say one more thing of the difference in Facebook and LinkedIn. You can do all kinds of the likes and things like that, but that isn't going to get you noticed. But if you do a repost and you say something about it, you might share because this is valuable or something, that points more attention to you being what you want to be is the expert. You want to show that you're an industry expert and you stand out in your field.
And one last thing, also add the person's name, like their at symbol, their name, because you got to tag them. Because if you tag them on the post, again, most likely you'll get more eyes and more impressions on that post because you're now tapping into their network. So it's always good practice to add their names or tag them.
Yeah, and one more thing about articles, because people are frightened of doing their own article. You can quote something and point your link to an article and just make a comment about that article too.
I agree.
It doesn't have to be your own information.
I agree. ...
And
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in a couple things on that. Don't just put clappy hands or a thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
If you want to put that, that's fine. But tell me why.
Yeah.
Engage with me. Tell me why you think that deserves this or whatever. It's because, again, this is an engagement platform, and don't forget that this is an opportunity for you to showcase your thought leadership with your responses. So if you put up something trite or one of those like auto responses, people know that, because they see what's on the bottom of their auto responses. But if you put something insightful, this is not only going out to that person's links, but all your links, and and it showcases how well you think and how well you can put those thoughts across.
One more example of impressions, Jeff, because this is really interesting. I post a lot of different things and I never really know what's really going to take. And the most amount that I got, which is so interesting, is that I do a little talent blog sometimes. And I interviewed an electrician who had an amazing story. He owns the Electrical Institute here on Long Island. And his story went out, but I have groups. And so specific groups also got that story. And because of algorithms, it's nice to be in a group and then see something that's relevant for that group. He had over 2,000 impressions, which ended up, he thanked me for adding now new students to his school. He had never had that kind of recognition in his life about his story.
Wow.
And we were all shocked. Yeah. And he, and I know him for many, many years. So that's just a testament. Be on it every day, just like emails. Be on it every day and absorb and see how to grow and how to really use it. I love
And
it.
if every day starts off sounding like overwhelm, start off with once a week.
Right.
And then maybe put it on your calendar that by this week, by maybe 2 weeks in, you're going to go to 2 times a week.
Right.
And the other thing is, just because everything doesn't have to be brand new.
Yeah.
You could put in what is it? In case you missed it, in ICYMI or something like that. Whatever the and you could repost something
for reruns.
Yeah.
So and
Jeff,
shoot for every day.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm more than happy to speak with you about LinkedIn. We all help each other here, by the way. I mean, that's what we do. And so I'm more than happy to look over what you have and give you some, thoughts and ideas. All right.
Great, thank you.
So who knows who you are? What's your network? This is big. I tell people, make your circle and make spokes. Who knows you? Okay. Are you a member of all kinds of things? Anybody?
Winning on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Winning on Wednesday, yes.
Mhm.
Anybody else of anything else?
People in the elevator know me. My best, like I meet people all the time in the elevator. It's just whatever. That's just me.
Seniors know me.
Seniors. Wow.
Are a member, Wanda, you a member of groups, senior groups or anything, or any kind of healthcare things or what?
Anything that has seniors in it, I go.
Me too.
I-
Me too. I'm part of Broward Coalition on Aging, and I'm part of Geriatric Advisory Council.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Alzheimer's, Parkinson's.
Wow.
Yeah. Anything that has a senior in there, I'm hanging out with them.
You guys should connect, Nancy and
Yeah,
Wanda.
yeah,
Make sure you put your contact information and share your contact information.
yeah. Great. Good. All right. So of course there's your story, and this is sort of your time to promote yourself. We've gone through some of the things that you can do. Any other things that you think of that would stand out?
I think I mean it's everything, but you got to find that one thing that that works, I guess, and whatever works, stick to it. Whether it be, hey, for some reason you put a video on TikTok and you got 1 million views, or 1,000 views or something like that, or Instagram, because you got to find what works, and you have to test out different things because not everything works for everything on every channel or every article or every video. You have to find what works for you.
And if you try to start posting on everything, you will burn out quickly.
You will.
Yes.
And so that's why we put at the very bottom, share on the platforms you're comfortable using. If you're
Yep.
only comfortable using LinkedIn, then just share the hell out of LinkedIn. Work it.
Share on
know?
the platform where the people who you want to buy from you are. Because yes, if you're looking to target 16-year-olds, don't go on Facebook. No one under 30 is on Facebook.
Right. Be more strategic.
Yes.
Right.
Go where your audience is.
Yes. Yes. Good. Good. So
My crowd is in Facebook.
Yep.
My crowd is in Facebook.
Yep.
Nancy would agree, right, Nancy?
Exactly.
That other comic, Rich.
Exactly.
One more comic ending, and I don't know where it went to.
Oh,
what was the comic? What was the
comic?
I go to the disco party events. They're there too.
The disco.
Am I wrong for advertising on MySpace?
Oh my
Oh
God.
my goodness.
Yes.
Do you, and while you're watching your Betamax?
Betamax.
Listening to my 8-track, yes.
MySpace. Wow.
I go to the car shows.
Oh yeah, the car shows.
Oh my.
Yeah, the car shows.
Anyway, we're missing one comic. I'm not sure what it was at the end. Rich, do you have it? Is something?
Oh,
is that the share? We had it. We had one more comic that was sort of at the end, and I don't know where it went to. Do you see it? It doesn't matter.
No
but
pressure, but find it right away, please.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rich.
Can you allow me to share?
Sure,
yeah.
you're the co-host.
Yep, you're a co-host. I'm going to stop my share, and you do your share. Go ahead.
Oh wow.
I believe it was this one.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yep.
Some,
Right.
That,
That's
remember, folks, just because don't get caught up in putting out bad information or bad stuff. You don't want to be. You never want your business to become a meme.
Yep.
Right.
And
So
lay off AI. It's just think, oh, I'll have AI come up with the stuff. You're branding you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
so
Let me put our information on one more time, just so that you see who we are and all our contact information. There we are.
there
And
you
we
go.
hope that you have enjoyed this and gotten something out of it.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Thank you so much. It was been great.
if you have questions, if you have thoughts, if you want to comment and talk to us more, feel free to contact us.
Yeah.
and continue to brand. I mean,
The meter only starts once we answer the phone.
right. And I gotta say, I like some people, again, with the backgrounds, always, take an opportunity to brand yourself with the backgrounds and put your logo, put your name, put your telephone number. Speaking of which, I always say this every week, and I forgot to do this. I have to brand myself, and we have to be consistent, and that is put what you do. You know what it is. It requires work. You got to work. Nothing's gonna come easy. You got to do the work. Winning on.
I want to share what this whole presentation did for me
Mhm.
and even for Rich. We've known each other for a while here, but never worked together. And it's really nice to really do one-to-one with somebody and then find something that you might be able to share together. I've
Mhm.
already done a workshop with Amy, and that was really interesting. And then a long time ago, there was this guy, Leonard, who did some profiling on, he did writing on LinkedIn. And we did a three together, a threesome together. So, it's really an opportunity for WOW to work together. Try it.
And again, wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. I'm just